Dr. Vandana Gupta is there, and she will be presenting on gut microbiomes and aging. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I would like to thank the organizers and the chairperson of the session, Dr. Dhananjay, for giving me this opportunity to talk about the role of microorganisms, the microbiome, in healthy aging. So, the role of microorganisms or the normal microbiome that we carry on us all the time, right from the time we come on this earth, that means the time when we take birth, microbiome is always associated with us, and it actually determines a number of conditions, the health conditions, how healthy we are, what kind of diseases we are suffering from, what kind of environment we are living in. It all affects the microbiota of any human being. So is the aging. Aging is also affected by microbiome in various ways. And the role of microbiome in aging has been recognized very widely by the scientific community. As you can see, there is going to be very soon going to be a conference on skin aging challenges and the role of microbiota in it in November itself in Malta. Now, how microorganisms or how microbiota or how microbiome is actually affecting the aging is very clear from this diagram, which is being depicted here. I hope you are able to the slides that I'm presenting. My slides are visible?
Yes.
Okay. So the gut is nowadays known as the second brain, and it has access with heart, it has access with brain, it also has access with lungs, our metabolism, and the skin. So you can see various conditions, skin conditions such as acne vulgaris, skin cancers, psoriasis, all are affected by the microbiota. And it is now very, very clear from the research papers that there is a very clear-cut association of gut microbiome with heart diseases also, such as thrombosis, atherosclerosis, and even the heart failures. Similarly, gut also affects the diseases of our nervous system, such as neurodegenerative disorders, autism, psychiatric disorders, and pneumonia. Gut also affect the lung diseases, which include asthma, obstructive pulmonary diseases, and lung cancer. It also include irritable bowel syndrome. It also include a number of other conditions which are actually somehow in one way or other is determined either by the respiratory microbiota or by the gut microbiota. Similarly, some of the metabolic disorders such as obesity, keto diabetes, mitochondrial dysfunction, cancer in any part of the body has been shown to be associated to the gut microbiota or the microbiota of skin or even the microbiota of the respiratory system. Now, the interesting fact is that all these diseases which are mentioned in this slide are somehow in one way or other related to the aging. Healthy aging, that means you don't have any of these disorders, but that is actually not possible. So, the definition for healthy aging would be that we have the minimal number of disorders from the list that is being depicted here. And how can we achieve that, and how microorganisms are going to affect all these diseases is basically the focus of my presentation today. So now if just we have a look at the overlap of other factors which are responsible for aging, which include the genetics of a person, the immunity of a person. It also includes what kind of drugs we are taking, the medicines we are consuming, if it includes loads of antibiotics or not, what kind of diet a person has, the geographical location where the person lives, and the amount of pollution which can be in the form of adulterated food, which can also be in the form of any form of air pollution, water pollution, etc., and etc., which ultimately affects our microbiome. So there is a significant overlap between all these things and a complicated interaction between all these factors, and the microbiome actually determines that what kind of diseases a person is going to have as the person ages. Now, if you look at the type of microorganisms that are present in our different systems and how this microbiota is actually affected with the age. For example, in nose, when a person ages, the streptococcus community increases. Similarly, in the mouth and throat, there is higher population of Faecalibacterium and Actinomyces. In lungs, the overall diversity of the microbiome decreases with age. In urinary tract, there is decrease in lactobacillus, which actually is a very healthy bacillus from female point of view. When you talk about the female urinary tract or the genital tract, bifidobacterium also gets reduced, and peptococcus actually increases in number. The community increases in number, which is somehow associated with unhealthy aging. Similarly, in vagina, lactobacillus population goes down. On skin, propionibacterium goes down, whereas Provitella, Rothia, and Veillonella species, they go up, their population is upregulated. Gut is a major determinant, and here the overall diversity of the gut microbiome gets reduced. You have less number of Faecalibacterium, and there is a significantly higher proportion of pathobionts, which basically are associated with some kind of diseases, such as members of Enterobacteriaceae, Streptococcaceae, and Staphylococcaceae. In centenarians, that means the people who are 100 years plus or who are approaching 100 years, the diversity again increases, and there is increase in acromentia. Though the diversity increases, but the population of microorganisms is very different from the young individuals. Now, if you compare healthy and unhealthy elders, the microbiota of healthy elders, which are not having any chronic disorders, which are living a normal lifestyle, which are living a normal life, in fact, they have lesser population of firmicutes and bifidobacterium, whereas bacteroids are increased. And so is the proteobacteria. There is higher population of proteobacteria. Centenarians, we consider them as healthy elders because they have already crossed or they have approached the age of 100, which is, of course, is a sign of very healthy aging. So they have a higher number of Clostridiaceae family members, higher number of Akkermansiaceae family members, and Bacterioideaceae family members. Whereas in unhealthy individual, Bacteroideaceae is reduced, Veillonellacea is also reduced, Lichenospiraceae is also reduced. They have more population of Rhamnococcaceae and Enterococcaceae members rather. So we can very clearly say that there is a very clear-cut shift in the microbiome in healthy elders to the unhealthy elders. When a person is unhealthy, is undergoing unhealthy aging, the microbiome is very, very different. Now, what can we do to basically restore it? There are various ways in which we can actually restore. This basically is a summary of the healthy gut microbiota and dysbiotic microbiota. Decrease in the variety of bacterial species, as I discussed in the earlier slide also. Increased intestinal permeability, and there are more chronic diseases happening in dysbiotic conditions, whereas in healthily aged people, the healthy gut microbiota is present, which includes higher diversity and richness of the species. The host health over here is very good, and homeostasis in metabolic, oxidative, and cognitive status is very, very good in those individuals who have a very healthy gut microbiota. Now, how can we shift from this dysbiotic condition to the normal condition or a healthy gut condition? So here you have to take a proper diet. The person should take prebiotics, postbiotics, and probiotics in the food so that the restoration of the healthy microbiota in the intestine can be achieved. There can be supplements which an individual can take to keep the body healthy, to keep all the metabolic processes in a very healthy homeostatic state. And exercise is actually considered to be, or it has proven to be, a good way to restore the healthy gut microbiota, because exercising is always associated. The people who very regularly exercise, they usually have higher diversity and richness of microbiota in their gut microbiome. So these are the ways in which we can actually go back to healthy gut microbiota from a dysbiotic state, which will help an individual in undergoing the process of healthy aging. So what actually happens at the molecular level when the gut is dysbiotic or when the gut is homeostatic? So in a homeostatic gut, there are a lot of small chain fatty acids which are being produced by the rich diversity of microorganisms in the gut lumen. So here this yellow part is the gut lumen, and you can see a variety of microorganisms are being present, and they produce the small chain fatty acids. So small chain fatty acid concentration in the gut lumen is also a determinant whether a person is healthy or it is having a dysbiotic condition. So the small chain fatty acid, it fortifies the barriers. It is a signal for proliferation of all the immune cells. So the person is having a healthy immune system if the gut homeostasis is good, if there is good microbiota present in the gut. Whereas on the other hand, there is dysbiotic gut, so diversity is much less. Not only the diversity is less, you can see some different kind of microorganisms are also being present, which are not, the presence of which is not a healthy sign. And they lead to the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which lead to the inflammation, chronic inflammation, and chronic inflammatory diseases in the individual. So this is what actually majorly is happening at the molecular level in any individual with a dysbiotic gut or with a normal healthy gut microbiota. So in conclusion, this is the last slide here. Aging is a physiological process which is affected by environmental, genetic, dietary factors and chronic diseases, immunity status, physical activity. All these parameters actually affect the aging of any person. But most of these factors, they have also been found to be linked to the microbiome dysbiosis in any individual. Any kind of environmental stress, there will be a change in microbiome. Any kind of adverse genetic factors, it will lead to microbiome disturbance. There is any dietary disturbances, again it will lead to unhealthy eating and fast food, and all those things will again lead to microbiome disturbances. Chronic diseases and microbiome, they have a vice versa relationship. If a person has chronic disease, the microbiome will get disturbed, and if a person gets a disturbed microbiome, a dysbiosis, that can also lead to a chronic disease. Then immunity status, again it has a relationship with the microbiome. Healthy microbiome, the person will have healthy immunity. If dysbiotic condition, then the person will undergo inflammatory conditions, will have load of inflammation associated with gut, associated with lungs, various allergic diseases, so on and so forth. Similarly, physical activity, low physical activity leads to dysbiosis. Good healthy exercises will lead to good microbiome in any individual. So healthy aging, which you can define as stress-free aging, the person is able to do his at least his own work by the till the time the person is almost retired. It goes into the mortality phase, and the person leads a disease-free life until the long in even in the very late stages of the age. So this kind of condition, healthy aging, which also prolongs the life of the person, is always associated with higher microbial diversity and presence of particular genera, which are present in higher number in these individuals. Now, what we can do if a person is having a dysbiotic gut and is having unhealthy aging, so what can we do? We can take measures to restore the healthy microbiome by using pre, pro, and postbiotics, which are rich in either microbial products or they are rich in products which lead to better growth of good microorganisms, or probiotics, which in itself is a population of consortium of microorganisms of healthy microorganisms which a person can directly consume in, say, for example, yogurt, curd, and other probiotic foods. And this will lead to increase in healthy microorganisms in the gut, healthy diet, of course, and healthy lifestyle. They can all lead to healthy aging of any individual. So with this, I again thank the organizers and the chairperson, Dr. Dhananjay, for being so patient. So thank you, audience, for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Gupta, for very informative presentations. There are certain questions that I'm allowing them to answer, but let me complete the next presentations, and afterwards we'll have the question and answer sessions. So keep your questions ready, or you can also write your question in the chat box, so that after this presentations we'll have the question answer session.